Hey there everyone, Mazarok here, and today on stream we went through a wonderful viewer's Protection Warrior plus 18 Plaguefall that he sent in for me to review. We went through it on stream together. It is a fairly long key. Unfortunately, they did not time it, mostly due to low DPS, but there were a couple of patterns that emerged within his Prot Warrior playstyle that I thought could warrant a good, condensed version of what we went through on stream together. I do not get enough Prot Warrior key reviews, and honestly, they're really fun tank to play, but can be fairly technical. So I fully understand, why not a lot of people are playing them right now, especially with the Strength of Blood. But it was really nice to see this here. The first thing that I had noticed with his talents was that he's playing Booming Voice. Now, Booming Voice is not a bad pick. In fact, if you play around it, it is one of the better talent options to play with Necrolord. But you need to play around it for banner upkeep, and this is kind of the subject of one of my future videos coming up, which is trading defenses for offensives and how good is it for tanks and things like that. There's quite a few opinions that I have on that one, but we'll catch that one in a bit. So in here, Booming Voice is mainly kept for banner upkeep. You want to use it as quickly as you can after you use your banner to gain the 40 rage, to spend it immediately to gain extra time on banner. And if you're not doing this, you're really wasting the potential of Booming Voice, because you're no longer using Demolition Shout as a defensive, aside from it being putting a DR and things around you while you gain the rage, which is nice, but it might not necessarily be where you want it, right? So the goal with Demo Shout, with Booming Voice, is banner, get some threat, couple revenges, shield walls, hit Demo Shout, gain more rage, keep banner going as long as possible, and within a 2-minute window, without any ers, you will be able to do this 3 times. Sorry, 3 times. I always get confused on that one. Before banner comes off cooldowns, gaining you a net total of 120 rage. But if you don't cast Demo Shout as quickly as possible, Best Serve Cold is actually going to be the better talent option for you. It's just kind of a playstyle, but you gain no rage from Best Serve Cold, just at net damage, but then you also get to keep Demo Shout as a defensive, so there's pros and cons to both, but you really need to play around them. Well, another thing that I noticed, especially as a warrior that uses Reprisal, it's basically the legendary that we all use in raids and Mythic Plus now, he was lacking a little bit on intervenes. Let's kind of move up around here because he's kind of setting up. Perfect. I really did like the way he set things up, actually, throughout the dungeon. He had a very good eye for, keeping threat, moving around, and things like that. But I found interweave. I'm combining charge weaving and intervene into one big word. He did not use intervene a lot, and one thing that I like to do with Prot Warrior is kind of pick my melee target, right? Who am I intervening throughout this dungeon? Most of the time, it's a survival hunter, or maybe an undergeared character or things like that needs some help, or someone that I just know is bad at mechanics, and I can help relieve some of that incoming damage, right? But intervene, giving you 4 seconds of shield block and an extra 20 rage, is very strong and should be used at all times, unless there is an intervene mechanic coming up that you can actually get better defensive use out of it instead of more offensive use. This is, and whether you like the Reprisal playstyle or not, fact is, that's where some of its strength lies, and to utilize it properly, you should be doing that. Now, whether you like Reprisal or not, I understand. I'm noticing it's about 50-50. A lot of Prot Warriors love Reprisal, a lot of Prot Warriors hate it. Kind of is what it is. Another thing that I had noticed was shield wall. We had a discussion with this on stream, and one of the things that we noticed was shield wall was very rarely being pressed, and it should be one of those buttons that is pressed rather frequently. Here we just noticed that he heroic leaped into battle. I'm going to kind of skip over here. If you have charges of charge up, do not leap into battle, always charge. Because by leaping into battle, you're not going to get the the bonuses of reprisal, and that is where its strength lies. Little tip. But let's get back to Shield Wall. So Shield Wall has a 3.5 minute cooldown if you're using the Stalwart Guardian Conduit, which you should be. But if you're not pressing it, and it seems like it's a daunting cooldown, right? 3.5 minutes, okay, if I press this now, I'm not going to have it for later. But fact is, with the amount of rage that you're burning through by being good at banner upkeep, you're actually, with going to be able to drop Shield Wall down to anywhere between 45 seconds to a minute 15 if you're playing aggressively, burning a lot of rage, and not letting banner drop. Combined with a little bit of you can get that down to about 45 seconds to a minute 15. I have done it. I have done it frequently and reliably, but it does require you to play aggressively, right, and really be good at banner upkeep. So that 3.5 minute cooldown isn't anywhere near as daunting as knowing you can get it down to about a minute 15 pretty regularly, right? Let's say on the higher end. Because you absolutely can, and then once you have that mentality in mind, you're going to be a lot more willing to burn it a lot quicker, or just use it for, on bigger pulls, and knowing that you're going to have it up for the next pull, and it's not that daunting, okay, 3.5 minute cooldowns. A lot of things that he did right in this key that I really, really liked. His pull setups were very, very good. He used charge rather frequently. It's at the beginning of the key that he started using Heroic Leap into battle a little bit more, but that kind of occurred later. Unfortunately, some of the DPS were a little low, but that is what it is. The last thing that I noticed that he could have worked on was Last Stand. He was saving Last Stand as a defensive. And Last Stand on its own is an okay defensive. It increases your max health and it heals you for it. That's great. But the thing is the moment that you put the conduit in Unnerving Focus for increased rage generation while Last Stand is active, Last Stand is no longer a defensive. It is, in fact, one of your best defensives when you pair it with Banner. Because Banner's rage generation is going to get increased by 60%. I think it's 60% with the 270 conduit. So a 68% increase to rage generation while Banner is active is actually crazy, and you just burn and generate so much rage that you get to really create this high APM playstyle during the duration of Last Stand. So one of the reasons, getting back to the start, why I like the talent Best Serve Cold better is you're losing a defensive with Last Stand anyway. So because you're using it as an offensive, that having Shield Wall and Demo Shout as defensives makes you a little bit extra tanky every 45 seconds to a minute 15 to both. Unfortunately, you don't have anything to reduce the CDR of Demo Shout, but Shield Wall you do, so you can really bring that down. He also had very good spell reflect usage throughout the entirety of the dungeon, and really all-around strong play, I have to say. There was just a couple of rotational issues, if you know what I mean. It kind of happens with things like that, and Prot Warrior is a very high APM, actions per minute play style, where you really don't want to Heroic Leap. You want to charge weave as much as you can, Heroic Leap out of battle to kind of kite away, charge back in, gain shield block, intervene as often as possible, and things like that. But those are the 4 big points, and I think those are the 4 big points that I see a lot of Prot Warriors kind of talk about their weaknesses are, if you know what I mean. Unfortunately, I don't get to review as many Prot Warrior videos as I would like, but the ones that I do get in or see, because unfortunately I can't post every single one due to HD. That is kind of an issue that I'm getting more and more with some of these key review videos, is the ones that are coming in are like 720p or very low quality, where I can't post them on YouTube. So if you are going to post a key review for, coaching and things like that, please set your OBS Streamlabs or whatever your recording software is to high HD 1080p, because it just doesn't translate well over to YouTube afterwards. And even at that, while you're watching it, it's kind of difficult. This one here is absolutely gorgeous. I liked his UI. He had a couple little redundancies, but nothing that was like, egregious or anything of the sort. He played very, very well. He utilized his kit almost to the fullest, aside from those little kind of nicks and knacks, the little things that are like the tricks of Prot Warrior, if you so would, right? But yeah, so those are the things that I noticed throughout the key that were kind of repeating patterns, and we talked to him about. Some things, like once we got to the 3rd boss, I was kind of pointing out some sloppy play, and he's like, yeah, by that point I just stopped caring. The key was already dead. We were over timer. I just wanted to get it done. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair, because we've all been there as tanks, right? We're just going to get the key done because we got to get the key done. but there's nothing in it for you aside from just completion. And it's already probably not been fun already because you're overtimer by the time the third boss comes around, but is what it is. But McChomps, your instincts are fantastic. You've got good solid technical play. It's just those couple of other little things. Banner upkeep is by far the most important thing for Prot Warrior, because one of the things that makes it so sturdy, aside from the strength gain from keeping a banner up, is the rage generation. The more rage you have to burn, the more ignore pains you have, the more you can keep it up to mitigate incoming damage, the more revenges you can spam, the more rages that you have for shield blocks. All of those things matter, so they kind of work in a fluid cycle to one another, right? The more rage you burn to do damage and be defensive, the longer you keep banner up. So you want to play as aggressively as possible. But thank you very much, McChops. This was an absolutely fun key to review, even though I know the end of the key wasn't fun for you. Please like, comment, subscribe. There's a Twitch link, Discord link, Patreon link. All those fun links are right down below as well. And if you would like to leave a key for me to review, there is a Google Drive link that you can upload something to YouTube and send me the link in there, or you can just upload a video directly to there as well. Please show me your talents, your conduits, all that fun stuff. And if there is something that you wish, like, no audio or something you wish to kind of be kept a little bit more private, just let me know. You can always message me on Twitch, and I'll be happy to help you out with that. So thank you very much, everybody, for the key. Have yourselves a good day, and happy tanking!